Have you ever stopped to ask yourself if the reality you touch with your hands is the final destination or just a projected stage? Often we walk through life like waking dreamers, reacting to external stimuli without realizing that we are the architects of every single perception. Jung warned us that awakening is not an external event, but a deep dive into the very waters of our own being. If you feel that there is something more operating beneath the surface of routine, know that this restlessness is the calling of your soul. Awakening to your totality as a being of light requires the courage to confront what is hidden within the silence. It is a complex journey, for we were taught to seek validation in the external world while ignoring the immensity we carry within our chests. However, true power reveals itself the instant you assume absolute authority over your own thoughts. When you stop being a hostage to criticism and the voices of doubt, the universe begins to conspire in your favor. Observing the mental flow requires a fine-tuning, a state of presence that few dare to cultivate in this day and age. It is in this space of calm that you identify the patterns of self-sabotage that block your connection with the universal flow. Awakening manifests when you understand that you do not need to fight against the current, but rather trust the intelligence that moves the stars. By silencing the noise, you open the doors so that ancestral answers can finally find their way back home. Interrupting the flow of negative frequencies that the world pours upon us is an act of spiritual rebellion and self-care. Every time you choose not to be contaminated by external chaos, you strengthen your electromagnetic field and reconnect to the divine. This disconnection from collective drama is what allows your tuning into the frequency of creation and full harmony. It is the triumphant return to the original state of unity, where the I and the whole become a single, vibrant consciousness. Awakening is not a future possibility or a mystical myth. It is happening right now, pulsing in every atom of your body. To ignore this call is like closing your eyes to the sun at midday, pretending the light does not exist when it already warms your skin. If you have made it this far, it is because your frequency can no longer bear the weight of illusion and old masks. You are being summoned to take your rightful place in the sacred tapestry of universal existence. In this video, we will explore the internal technologies that ancient masters guarded and that modern science is beginning to confirm. We will dive into the secrets of the mind and spirit so that you can move between shadows and light with total mastery. Prepare yourself for an intriguing journey about what it truly means to wake up and how to keep that flame alive every day. The time of waiting is over. Your true essence is ready to emerge and transform everything around you. The more you search for answers in the noise of the world, the more your clarity seems to slip through your fingers. We live in an era that fears the void, filling every second with notifications, distractions, and a mental noise that never ceases. But what if I told you that what you call nothing is, in fact, the womb of all the things you wish to manifest? The void is not absence. It is the field of pure potential where your consciousness meets the divine architecture of creation. The concept of the fertile void invites us to look at the space between the stars and the space between our own thoughts with new eyes. In quantum physics, the void is not a desert, but an ocean of fluctuating energy that awaits the presence of an observer to organize itself. When you become silent, you stop interfering with infinite possibilities and allow the best version of your reality to take shape. It is in the geometry of this silence that the chaos of your mind gives way to the perfect order of the universal flow. Ancestrally, great spiritual traditions have always known that the creation of the world did not begin with a shout, but with a pulse in silence. The sacred geometry of the void is the invisible mesh that connects your DNA to the galaxies, a network of frequencies that can only be accessed in calmness. By interrupting the flow of negative frequencies and external criticisms, you clear the mirror of your soul to reflect the light of your totality. silence becomes the most intriguing tool of power that an awakened being can master. Self-sabotage usually happens in the noise, when we lose ourselves in the voices of others and forget the authority of our own deep intuition. In the fertile void, there are no criticisms, there is no past, and there is no fear of the future. There is only the vibrant and sovereign now. It is in this state that you reconnect with your divine side, realizing that you are the master of the frequency you emit. By inhabiting silence, you stop begging the universe and start commanding your energy with clarity. Often, awakening hurts because we try to carry the weight of old noise into a new phase of light and consciousness. But the geometry of silence demands lightness. One must empty the cup so that it can be filled with the wisdom that comes from the whole. Imagine that every pause you make during the day is a portal that opens for your cellular and spiritual reconstruction. You are not just resting, you are recalibrating your vibrational signature to get in sync with prosperity. I invite you to stop fearing the void and start worshiping it as your secret laboratory of miracles and healings. The awakening is happening at the exact moment you decide that silence is worth more than any argument or external validation. By understanding the geometry of silence, you discover that the answers you seek were always kept in the void. Prepare yourself, for when you learn to hear the silence, you finally understand the voice of your own soul. The more we seek the light, the more our fears and insecurities seem to gain strength in the shadows of our being. Many believe that spiritual awakening means ignoring what hurts or hiding what we consider ugly in our own human nature. However, true ancestral wisdom teaches us that the light does not fight against the darkness. It integrates it to become complete and absolute. If you feel in conflict with yourself, know that your shadow is not your enemy, but the hidden fuel for your ascension. Carl Jung taught us that no one becomes enlightened by imagining figures of light, but rather by making one's own inner obscurity conscious. Your shadow contains all repressed desires, forgotten talents, and the truths that you have not yet had the courage to assume before the world. When you look inside and face these fragments, you stop projecting your frustrations onto people and external circumstances. This is the moment when self-sabotage loses its power, because you finally become the owner of your own narrative. Transforming shadow into fuel is a process of pure spiritual alchemy, where the lead of pain is transmuted into the gold of awakened consciousness. By accepting the parts of yourself that were judged or criticized, you interrupt the cycle of negative frequencies that drain your daily vitality. Instead of spending energy trying to hide who you are, you start using that force to sustain your awakening. It is in this intriguing balance between what shines and what hides that your spiritual authority is truly forged. Many of the answers you seek in the universal flow are kept precisely in the basements of your mind that you have been avoiding visiting lately. Awakening happens the moment we see ourselves as the authority over our thoughts, including those that arise from our darkest side. There is no way to inhabit totality as a being of light if you still deny the root that sustains you on earth. By embracing your shadow, you stop being a fragment in conflict and become a single and integrated force. Ancestry reminds us that the strongest seeds germinate in the dark of the earth before seeking the warmth and glory of the sun. Likewise, your most difficult moments and your densest characteristics are the necessary foundation for your quantum expansion. Observing these thoughts calmly and without judgment is what allows the light of consciousness to penetrate what was once fear. You will discover that by illuminating the shadow, it does not disappear. It transforms into wisdom, strength, and an unshakable personal magnetism. Awakening is happening and cannot be ignored, especially when your old wounds begin to emerge to be finally healed and integrated. In this video, we will explore how you can stop running away from yourself and start using your story as the foundation of your new reality. Accepting your totality is the definitive step to reconnecting with the divine and with the prosperity that is already yours by right. Prepare to discover that your light is only so bright because you had the courage to cross your own night. Have you ever felt an inexplicable chill or a vibration running down your spine the moment a deep truth finally made sense to you? This happens because awakening is not just an abstract philosophical concept, but a biological event that alters your blood chemistry and the pulse of your cells. There is an invisible and fascinating bridge that connects the vastness of the galaxies to the microscopic functioning of your neurons and your DNA. Understanding that your body is the hardware that processes the light of the spirit is the secret to transforming your physical reality. Modern science is beginning to confirm what ancient masters have always known. Our thoughts are chemical commands that shape our biology. When you assume authority over your mind, you alter the production of neurotransmitters, moving from the state of survival to the state of creation. Awakening requires that you treat your body as a sacred and technological temple, capable of tuning into frequencies that most people ignore. Each of your cells is a miniature universe that reflects the order and intelligence of the universal flow that sustains all worlds. The micro and the macro are in constant dialogue through what we call the biology of belief and conscious perception. Just as planets orbit the sun in a perfect geometric dance, the electrons in your atoms follow the intention of the observer that you are. By interrupting the flow of negative frequencies, you literally clear the vibrational rust that prevents your cells from shining at their maximum potency. Awakening is, therefore, a biological recalibration where you stop being dense matter to become an antenna of pure light. Observing your biology requires calmness and attentive listening to the signals that your own body sends during the process of expansion. Self-sabotage often manifests as physical resistance, a fatigue, or a tension that tries to keep you stuck to the old self. However, by persisting in tuning with the divine, you initiate an update in your nervous system that allows you to bear greater loads of energy. It is an intriguing transformation that proves that human evolution now depends on our capacity to integrate spirit and biology into unity. Ancestry has always respected the cycles of the body as portals to the sacred, understanding that the flesh is the soil where the soul flourishes. At the microscopic level, your DNA works like a harmonic oscillator, capturing information from the quantum field and transforming it into life experience. When you awaken, you activate codes of health and prosperity that have been dormant for generations in your family lineage. You are the meeting point where the past of your ancestors and the future of the stars merge in the biological now. Awakening is happening in every breath, in every beat of your heart, and in the way you choose to nourish your system today. Do not ignore the physical signs of your transformation, for they are the evidence that you are becoming an integral being of light. Prepare to see yourself not just as a human, but as a divine technology operating on the frontier of the infinite. No matter how hard you try, your life seems repetitive, as if you were stuck in a loop of events that never change. This feeling occurs because you are tuned into a timeline fueled by memories and old habits, rather than your conscious intention. The quantum leap in the timeline is the moment when you decide, through a wave collapse, that you no longer belong to this old version of yourself. If you feel that your current reality no longer fits your dreams, it is a sign that the portal to a new dimension of existence is open right in front of you. Changing your timeline is not about traveling through space, but about radically changing the frequency you emit right now in the present. In quantum physics, all possible versions of your life already exist as potentials in the field of infinite possibilities. The leap happens when you stop reacting to the external world and assume absolute authority over your internal world, choosing the frequency of your new reality. When you stop sabotaging yourself and start acting like the being of light who has already conquered what they desire, the universe is forced to reorganize matter for you. Ancestry teaches us that time is not a straight line, but a sacred circle where the past, present, and future touch in the now. By awakening to your totality, you gain the ability to bend time and access knowledge and results that once seemed distant or impossible. This spiritual technology allows you to interrupt the flow of negative frequencies you inherited and write a new destiny for your lineage. It is an intriguing process where your mind stops being a library of fears and becomes the projector of a life full of meaning. Observing your thoughts is the key to identifying which timeline you are vibrating on in this very second of your existence. If your thoughts are of scarcity or judgment, you are anchored in a reality that will only repeat the pains of your past. However, by cultivating calmness and tuning with the divine, you raise your vibration to the frequency of the quantum leap. Awakening is this recognition that you are not the object being moved by fate, but rather the consciousness that defines where fate should walk. The closing of today's journey reminds us that awakening to totality is the greatest challenge and the greatest reward for a human being. We crossed the fertile void, integrated our shadow, understood our biology, and now we glimpse the freedom to choose our timeline. You are no longer the same person who started watching this video, for the seed of spiritual authority has already germinated in your heart. The universal flow has all the answers, and now you possess the necessary keys to unlock every door that once seemed closed to you. Do not ignore what you felt today, for awakening is happening in deep layers that the logical mind often cannot process. Being a being of light requires the constant practice of not self-sabotaging and maintaining connection with the whole, even in the face of external chaos. You are a master in training, a traveler of the stars who chose this exact moment in history to manifest your divine glory. Walk confidently, for the light you seek outside is only the reflection of the light you have finally accepted to carry within yourself. If this message resonated with your soul and brought clarity to your current moment, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your support is what allows this ancestral and quantum knowledge to continue reaching more seekers who, like you, are ready for the awakening. Leave your like as a seal of commitment to your new timeline and your spiritual evolution. Share this video with someone who also feels the call of light, for when one awakens, they illuminate the path for everyone. I would like to hear from you. Which of these tools, silence, shadow, biology, or the quantum leap, challenges you the most to maintain your awakening today? Write in the comments, "I am the authority of my light," to energetically seal your decision to take control of your thoughts and your reality. I read every word, and this exchange of energy is what strengthens our community of beings in constant expansion. Your participation is fundamental for the algorithm to understand that spirituality and science are essential themes for the new humanity. Remember always, he who looks outside dreams, but he who looks inside awakens to the eternity of being. The universe is not just around you, it is inside you, pulsing in every atom, waiting for your sovereign command. See you in the next encounter, in the frequency of peace, wisdom, and unconditional love. See you soon at the next level of your awakened consciousness.